We're going to move now to a topic that's hard to talk about on this show and everywhere else, but we've done it before and we'll do it again for as long as it takes. I'm talking about suicide. According to new statistics from the CDC, there were a record number of deaths by suicide last year. But the discussion we're about to have is about much more than statistics or that headline. That's because if we want to do anything about those statistics, those headlines, we have to support people before they become statistics, right, Kent?
That's right, Jana, absolutely. And with that in mind, I sat down with Patrick Roan today. He's a board president for Mental Health Minnesota. He's also spent his entire life working to avoid becoming a statistic himself. He is a proud survivor of mental illness and sat down with me today to discuss his mixed emotions about where we currently stand.
Sadness, yet not shock.
Patrick Roan's lack of surprise over the seemingly never-ending climb of suicide rates both locally and nationally should not be mistaken for a lack of hope.
So it's becoming increasingly okay to talk about this, and because it's becoming okay to talk about this, the awareness is increasing.
And he says all you have to do is look at cancer awareness to understand why that is powerful.
Someone who's had cancer and who's still alive, what do we call them?
Survivor.
What about those of us who have tried to commit suicide? What do you call me?
Survivor.
Okay, good. That's what you should. That's what we all should. We don't talk about that. We talk about the Anthony Bourdains, the folks that, seemingly had this perfect life and everything was going great, and we celebrated them. We didn't know their silent suffering. We didn't know that they were in fact surviving every single day. Many people with a mental illness have to wake up every day and make the choice to live. And we don't celebrate them. We don't celebrate that choice. We think it's just like waking up. What's the big deal? You got up this morning. Woohoo, good for you. For some people, for a lot of people, for too many people, that's a heroic choice.
Do you think we focus too much on the death and not enough on the hope?
Yeah, I do.
So what gives you hope where we stand right now?
I have a 15-year-old daughter who herself talks about, acknowledges, and works through her own anxiety issues. What gives me hope is that the kids, they get this, they know, they're not ashamed of it. It's part of the conversation, and that gives me hope. Because they're gonna be in charge. They're gonna be the ones eventually who are deciding where the money goes.
And speaking of money, after he helped fight for legislative support for the new 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline in Minnesota, they've seen a 40% increase in calls and a 900% increase in texts in the last year.
Boom, that's it. That's the reason why we fund it. That's the reason why we should be doing it. That right there is the reason why it will save lives. It will save lives every single time because you can remember the darn number.
And the awareness doesn't stop there. After a free online questionnaire offered by Mental Health Minnesota led to 10,700 screenings in 2022, it's already exceeded 18,000 screenings in the first half of this year.
That's life-changing.
Do you think people appreciate what it takes to fill out something like that?
Yeah, it's huge. Once again, it's heroic.
What do you want to say to those heroes then?
Oh my gosh. Just that. You're a hero, and you have to fight that feeling. And you have to say, no, I'm doing this for the kids, or I'm doing this for my wife. You have to find that reason, and you have to put one foot on the floor, followed by the next.
Now, as a society, Patrick wants to be clear that he believes, like with cancer, we need to move beyond awareness and do much more to fund and research mental illness and factors that lead to suicide. But again, he does see signs of hope led by young people. The CDC numbers that we talked about just a few minutes ago, despite the record number of overall deaths, suicides fell by more than 8% among 10 to 24-year-olds, Jana. And that's the hope that he's talking about.
My goodness. I like to think that there are people watching this right now that heard Patrick's words, and tomorrow they're going to put one foot in front of the other. I just want to publicly thank him for talking to you today. That was incredible.
That's why he does it every time. That's why he'll do it every time he tries to answer that phone. He'll be there, and he says, just click online, get started, one foot in front of the other.
Thanks so much.